Hello, and welcome to the Keep It Local Maine podcast, where we tell the stories of local business owners, artists, and entrepreneurs, and learn more about what they do, who and what inspires them, their challenges, successes, and more. My name is Todd Regalinski.
And I am Kimberly Regalinski.
And we are the publishers of Keep It Local Maine, a magazine that helps to showcase local businesses to the people in and around their communities. Thank you for tuning in to our weekly podcast that you can subscribe to on most streaming services such as Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and others. You can learn more about us at keepitlocalmaine.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube through the links in the show notes. In this episode, we'll be talking with Daniel Finnemore from Box of Maine. Daniel was born and raised in Bangor, where he graduated high school and attended the local community college for business management. His father was an entrepreneur and would take him on the job when he was younger. When Daniel got married to his wife Sarah, he soon realized that he needed to make more money, so he began selling on e-commerce platforms like eBay and Amazon. A few years later, his business Box of Maine started in his basement. He now owns his own commercial property in Old Town, where his team packages and ships Maine products in customized gift boxes all over the world. And now, a quick word from our sponsor.
You are a Maine business. A Maine business. That means you're the backbone of our community and a force for good in Maine. At Gorham Savings Bank, we think you deserve a bank that sees your business as more than a balance sheet. Every Maine business deserves that kind of bank. Call, click, or come by to learn how we can help your business thrive. You're a Maine business. We're a Maine bank. Let's get to work. Gorham Savings Bank. Banking is believing. Member FDIC.
Welcome to the show, Daniel. We're so glad that you're here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on. I look forward to diving into some business with you.
Yeah, this is great. I'm so excited. So how did you come up with the idea of Box of Maine? It's so exciting.
So I can't take full credit. I have a very good friend who saw that there was other states that were packaging up some products from their state. And he's like, you know what? Maine is something very special about Maine. I bet that we could do a Box of Maine. And so he kind of started it with his daughter. She went off to college and he decided, wow, this is too big for me. And he thought of me because I was already selling online. I was an entrepreneur selling whatever I could get my hands on eBay and Amazon. So I already had been bit by the entrepreneur bug. And so I just loved selling stuff. And so I had already started my own little side hustle business. And so he came to me at the very, very early stages. He goes, hey, I got an idea. I got a website. I got a logo. I got some products from Maine. If you want it, I'll sell it to you. And I said, sure, let's do it. I didn't even have to think about it that long. I'm born and raised in Maine. I love everything our state has to offer. But the key piece, guys, is that the main product that you have here, like whoopie pies and moxie and whatnot, you can't get it outside of the state. And so that's what makes it so special when we package up these gift boxes. So I dished out some money and started in my basement and then just kept going.
That's so cool. Sounds like our story, Todd. It's so cool. Started in your basement.
Pretty much. And that is so funny to me when you think about some of those things. Because, I think people know about whoopie pies, but you mentioned moxie.
Yeah.
It's like 99% of the population outside of Maine, and they're like, beg your pardon? No idea.
Nothing's greater than giving someone a can of moxie, almost as like a torment a little bit, but just to see the reaction. 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get a interesting reaction when it comes to that.
That's so cool.
It almost is like part of an initiation sort of thing. Like,
oh, so you want to come to Maine, huh? You want to be a Maine? Yeah, try this moxie.
That's right.
It's like there should be like a customs house at the York toll booth. Are you coming to Maine for the first time? Here's your moxie.
$4 and you got to try a cold moxie.
We're going to check in on you by the time you get to Wells. If you don't finish it by then, you got to turn back around.
Yeah. Yes. I love it. And then maybe a whoopie pie to chase it down with.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, the whoopie pie, I don't think would. I've not met too many people. So there's some people who are kind of lukewarm on whoopie pies. Like they're like, it's okay. I have yet to meet anyone who's like, oh no, like firmly anti whoopie pie.
Yeah.
Right? It's like one of the perfect foods on this planet. I don't know how you could realistically be anti whoopie pie. I don't get that. But I'm also a severe sugar lover, so that might have something to do with it as well.
That makes two of us. Let me tell you what, I've put on some weight since I've been running this business. And I got to thank the Maine whoopie pie for it.
That's a tough thing. Is you have sometimes it gets tempting to eat your own overage. It's like, oh geez, this is Best Buy yesterday, but I can't.
Oh geez, did this accidentally fall and break open? I guess I'll have to. Yeah, it's definitely not the best when you're eating your profits, but it's irresistible.
No.
That'll cut into things just a bit.
Yeah.
So we've already kind of covered two of the things that are that are possibilities to be in the box.
Sure.
But what are some of the other products that you put in the boxes, and what's the selection
How do you determine
process
that?
like for you?
That's what makes it so unique. And so a couple products, because obviously we have like over 100 products. I'm not going to go down through the list, but some of the big ones we've talked about: the whoopie pies, the moxie, the maple syrup, anything blueberry related. We're the biggest agricultural, for harvesting and cultivating blueberries. Anything lobster related does really, really well. And then we have some like regional stuff. We have the brown bread and the baked beans and the Humpty Dumpty potato chips, fluff, and just there's the list goes on. And the tricky part is selecting a box of 10 items out of all of the items that we carry. But we allow our customers to go and customize and pick and design their box so that every box is unique, whether they're getting it for themselves, if they live out of the state of Maine because they've had to move away for whatever reason, work, military, and they want to get some of their foods for themselves, or maybe they live in the state of Maine and they have friends and family or coworkers that they say, hey, take a look and see what Maine is all about. The taste, the smells, the visuals. We really try to cover it all in the Box of Maine.
That's so cool. So, all right, I got to ask about one product, okay? Because I grew up in Maine, and this is kind of shocking, but maybe it's because I always had it growing up, but fluff. I didn't realize.
See, I was just going to ask about that.
So fluff,
Right.
I didn't realize it was like the Maine.
Yeah, so Fluff is our regional guy, right? He's controversial for sure. But you can't tell, listen, you can't tell me growing up in Maine, you didn't have a Fluffinutta sandwich, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'll fight you to the death on that one.
Well, the funny thing is, so you and Kim are both from Maine. I'm from away. I'm from New Hampshire, or as I like to
Okay.
call it, the right side up, Vermont. And there's fluff there.
Okay.
I mean, it's
okay.
not like you can't. It's not like Moxie. Like Moxie,
Sure.
you just don't see it in the store. But I mean, you see fluff, and I knew a bunch of people who liked fluff growing up, but I didn't realize like it is borderline like a religious
Right.
thing in
I
Maine.
love me some fluff.
I got people that are from California, Florida, and they're like, there's a substitute. It's called marshmallow cream, and it's horrible. And they're like, it's awful. We need the real white goodness, that fluff. And so we do it. We send it to them.
It's funny, even to this day now, where you can order you could almost order like a house through online and have it like arrive at your doorstep, but that there's still these regional things like like I guess down in like New Jersey, like Tasty Cakes.
Yep.
Is a big thing, and like I guess they kind of work their way up here, but if you start heading west, it's not a
So
thing.
bizarre.
And
So
I guess
bizarre.
fluff the same way.
Fluff is the same
that
way,
is
yeah.
kind of funny to me.
It is funny, yeah. So what were you doing before you started Box of Maine?
So that's kind of, we talked about it a little bit in the beginning, right? I was in online sales. Now, before that, I was a frozen food manufacturer, right? I always wanted to do business, and I wanted to work my way up and kind of get some experience. I got a business degree. And so I started working for this frozen food manufacturer, but then I was like, man, I need to make a little bit more money. I'm not moving up as fast as I would like. I got married. I had a kid on the way. And I was like, how do I make some more money? So I just started selling stuff on eBay, anything I could get my hands on, whether it was video games, collectibles, electronics. And I was just like really starting to make a lot of money going to yard sales and just buying whatever I could, whether it was books or any type of literature. And I was like, I think I could do this full time. And they thought I was crazy. They looked at me and kind of laughed, but I'm like, no, I want to run my own business. And I saw by the means of reselling products that I acquired of value at a low cost and then reselling them at a higher value to a niche market, if you will, whether it was Legos or any type of video game accessory. And so I found that there was a market out there, and I began to create my own business and started making some decent money where I was like, okay, well, see you later, guys. I'm going to do my own thing. They kind of thought I was crazy. But I kind of got familiar with e-commerce, eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace. And then that's when Box of Maine came into play. And since then, it's Box of Maine. I'm all in. I'm 5 years in, and I'm not looking back.
It's so cool. So, I mean, that experience had to have helped you launching this business.
Not only working for that frozen food manufacturer, learning how, because I had 8 people work for me, shipping and receiving, doing accounting, dealing with customers, inventory management, all of these things, designing boxes. It blows my mind at how much I was able to use that, plus the experience with eBay and Amazon and online sales, packing and shipping products. It's very meticulous when it comes down to box sizes, dimensions, and weight. You really got to know what you're doing, and then finding the marketplace, finding your target market. So all of those things I already had in place, and it really just flowed. I couldn't think of a better mix. It worked out great.
That's so cool.
Now, just a side note here on this, like, how did you go about finding the things that you were going to resell? Was there a method to that, or was it you just kind of were always had your eyes open for stuff?
I think that's a great question, and it really comes down to putting in the work, putting in the time. You got to do the research. You do product acquisition, or ask my audience, my customers, what are some products that you would like to see in the Box of Maine, and just hitting the phones, emails, and just doing research. What are some of the products that have a long lasting history, like Moxie, like whoopie pies, like blueberry jam and maple syrup, raised mustard, right? They are their only stone ground mill in America that still makes mustard the old fashioned way, right? So you get a quality product, you get good pricing, a well-known regional name. And so all those things have to line up between product, price, packaging, and then are the people good to work with? Those are some of the things that I take into consideration when I find a product and I find a business that I want to work with.
Yeah, that is a huge thing, is finding the right people to work with. It's not. I can see where that wouldn't just be the right products. It's like, okay, now the actual like human relationship has to also work out in a certain way as well.
Exactly, because everybody's making blueberry soap and candles, and I know 20 people that make whoopie pies, and there's hundreds of lobster companies and blueberry companies. So I think Maine is special and unique in its own way, where we do have those things that like are pretty. They're like staples to our state. So they're like, there's the obvious ones, but then there's like other ones like popover mix or blueberry pancake mix or hot sauce, where, okay, everybody has hot sauce, but our hot sauce, the Box of Maine hot sauce, uses real Maine maple syrup, or it has blueberries in it mixed in with it somehow. And it kind of puts that little special touch on the product that makes it very unique.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know what and again, this is another thing that, I was gloriously ignorant of before. Like blueberries, don't bad talk blueberries in the state of Maine. That's just, even if you don't like blueberries, just eat the muffin and just, go on about your business. Don't make any waves. I actually had like blueberry salsa
Yep.
the other day. And I was wondering, I'm like, how is this going to go? I'm like, the blueberries are just good at everything. It's amazing.
I completely agree with you, and I'm slightly biased, but we literally we have blueberry soap, candles, blueberry barbecue sauce. We got blueberry mustard, just blueberry tea, blueberry. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, the blueberry is the Swiss Army knife of Maine agriculture, but now that I'm thinking about it, blueberry's been around a while, so actually the Swiss Army knife is the blueberry of tools, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and the Maine blueberries are a little bit different. They're low bush blueberries, so they're smaller, a little bit more tart, but they're packed. They're super fruits, man. They're packed, filled with antioxidants and a bunch of really great things. You can put them in smoothies, any type of foods, baking, whether you like baking. We have blueberry chocolate bars that are amazing. Yeah, they're very versatile.
Nice. So your father was an entrepreneur, and how was your father, being an entrepreneur, influence you growing up and today as a business owner?
As I get older, man, I really see it more and more. I have my own family now, and I have my own children, and so when I go out to work, I'm providing for them. And that's what my father did for me. He was a single father trying to raise 3 boys on his own. And so he had to grind. He had to work multiple jobs, whether it was computers or lawn care or aquatic fish. The list goes on and on about some of the businesses that he had started. And he brought me along with him. And so I got to see him interact with people. I got to see him making money. And I got to see bills getting paid. Now, I didn't appreciate all of that at the age of, 10, 11, 12, 13. But now that I have my own family and he comes along with me and tells me how proud he is, and I'm out there and I'm picking up blueberries or I'm picking up whoopie pies, and he gets to go along with me. It's come full circle, and it's really the foundational part of who I am and who Box of Maine is. And I want to challenge those listening. If you're on the fence about starting a business, small business, now's the best time to do it. You don't want to regret not doing it.
For sure. That's
Yeah.
And
awesome.
find what makes you passionate about it too, right? Like that's really important.
Yeah.
You got to be passionate. You got to be willing to get up every day and say, I love my job and I'm looking to go to the next level.
Yeah, that is such a key, because there's so many times I've thought of, I mean, you can have any number of ideas, and I'm a firm believer that ideas in some ways are kind of useless until you actually put the work in to do something with them, because anybody can have an idea.
Right.
It's whether or not you actually have the passion to then grind through and carry that idea into something that actually is
Exactly.
is going, is doing something.
And that's a great example, because this started as an idea. You don't know how many people I meet at like trade shows and festivals. Like, oh, that's a great idea. I've had an idea like that before, or I had a similar idea. But it comes down to execution, putting in the work, the time, and the sacrifice. Okay, this I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. There's been a lot of time put into this, long days. Sleepless nights, losing hair. It's a pretty big sacrifice when you're going all in on a small business like this.
Yeah, I think I mentioned in another episode, but it really is. Business is one of the areas where it's not like, high school math, where it's like, show your work. I mean, you don't necessarily want to show the work. And so I think a lot of people can miss that step in it. That, yeah, it is about the execution. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. So can you tell us about the Giving Back program and, how that started?
Yeah, I literally just talked about it today. It comes natural. It's not something that we're doing to try to be all showy. It really is the core of who we are as a company. We literally package up products that people can't get in other parts of the country and parts of the world, and we give them an opportunity to get those products, right? So I love doing giveaways. I love giving a taste of my state of Maine that I am so proud of to other people. How do I also give back to my local community and pour into those around me? Not only do we support 40 Maine businesses, but we also team up with Maine nonprofits. Every month we designate a new Maine nonprofit. And this month, I'm excited to say that for the month of November, we're going to be teaming up with the Maine Veterans Project. My father was a veteran. My grandfather was a veteran. And we want to put a little bit of spotlight and make people aware of, some of the difficult things about coming back from war, and suicide awareness. And so if we can contribute a little bit and we can put a little bit of good feedback on that and raise some money, we're going to do it. And so we're excited for the month of November. We get to do that. So people can, when they order a Box of Maine, not only do they support my small family business and other Maine local businesses, but they also are supporting the Maine Veterans Project. We'll be donating $1 for every box we sell for the month of November.
That's great.
That's awesome. And of course, I usually say this at the end, but I'll make sure I say it now nice and early in case someone has to cuts out here before the end of this. I will have a link to Box of Maine's website where you can order online in the show notes. So please be sure to visit that and check out all the products that are available. That is a great thing that you're doing just in general in terms of each month a new nonprofit, but especially for November. This is a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
Sure. We try to line up with other nonprofits that have like a similar mindset where they're really looking to pour into the community. Like the Maine Veterans Project, they take veterans out and just take them out and go fishing and just take them out to eat or, help pay their fuel bills or, so they're really out there and they're boots on the ground. They're out there actually doing it. They're not just saying it. And maybe if you listen to this podcast and November's already passed and you're like, oh, crap, I can't, it's too late. Well, for December, we're going to be teaming up with the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital. So every Box of Maine sold in December, we will be using the money to buy toys for the children at the Barbara Bush Hospital. So I'm excited about that as well.
That's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, this is awesome because basically the holidays are coming up, right? So people can buy a Box of Maine and really give a gift with purpose. So whether it's the month of November or whether it's the month of December, people can actually shop and actually make a difference by just purchasing a box of Maine, sending it to a relative or a coworker, whoever it may be, and actually be making a difference. And I love that.
Yeah, it's more than just blueberry jam and whoopie pies, right? We're actually bringing people back to their childhood again. They haven't had Moxie for 40 years, right? They haven't had the red hot dogs or the Humpty Dumpty potato chips. And they remember the times when their dad used to take them down to the chip plant or the hot dog place or the festival or the military that we serve. We ship out boxes, free shipping to our military. They're away from home, serving our country, and we get to send them a box that says, hey, here's a little piece of home to hold you over while you're away. Like, I can't think of anything more satisfying than that. Yeah. That's some of the biggest things that I've learned. It's more than just me, but we can play a bigger part in helping other people.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So cool.
So one of the things we like to do, this is, of course, for people who just like learning about businesses, but this is also for business owners. I feel like we always like to throw in a couple questions that business owners can kind of maybe grab a hold of and take some notes on. So what has been one of the biggest lessons you've learned over the last year, either in business or personally, whatever comes up kind of as a strong point for you?
So this is the first thing that pops into my head is life can be very crazy and it can throw lots of different obstacles and hurdles your way, and don't panic and freak out. And in business, lots of different things are going to change. Every day is a different day. Things constantly change. We have to be willing to take a step back, take a deep breath, learn to prioritize what's most important to me. Is it just business? Is it just making money? Or do I realize, hey, I got 2 little boys. I'm going to go take them ice fishing. I'm going to go take them camping also. I'm going to take as many opportunities as I can to pour into my family too, not get so wrapped up in business like I did the first couple of years. I made a lot of sacrifices, but I think you gotta be able to pour in time to what is most important to you and my kids and my family is. So yes, I'm a small family business. Yes, I want to grow and hit large numbers and be known all over the world, but I also don't want to lose the time to take with my kids, to take them out.
That's huge.
That is huge. And that's one of the perks, I would have to say, of being a business owner, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's great. Like my son's 8 years old and I'm like, hey, you want to come in for a couple hours? Like it's like a 2-for-1. Like I get to spend time with my son and I can show him a little bit of business like my dad did when I was a little boy, I can't think. I think he'll just like I remember that for the rest of my life. I think he will as well. So it is definitely a perk to be able to have a little bit of flexibility and to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes me think that maybe we need to have our daughter come in and maybe start learning how to edit podcasts.
She's already negotiating with us on what we're going to pay her. So we always like to ask this because we're just inspired by just the different answers. But how would you say you define success?
Gosh, that's a good question, and I think it changes for me over time. But for me, success is being able to make enough money to pay my bills, to make sure that everything's all taken care of, and then be able to spend time with my family. I think I kind of touched on it before, is to have that support from my family. In my mind, that is success. They're all for me in this. They play a huge part in the business, and to be successful, I think we can easily get caught up in the numbers, which I do at times. But I want to push myself. I want to grow too at the same time. I don't want to be content with where I'm at. But really, at the end of the day, for me, it's just to make sure everything's all paid for, don't have a whole lot of debt, and maybe someday I'll be able to retire, but I got a long ways to go. A long ways.
Yeah. There's, I forget who said it. They said, oh, yes, I retire at the end of each day, and each morning I get back up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's an interest. That's kind of the small business mantra right there. So another question that we always like to ask, because we are self-admitted inspiration junkies, who or what inspires you?
My faith is a pretty big thing. So I would definitely say that. As a Christian man, I tend to lean on the morals and the values of the scriptures of the Bible that we read. So that's really big for me, because you get those days where you're just like, you want to give up, you want to quit. And for me, my faith has really just kind of kept me moving forward, because things do get tough, trying to raise a family and run a business. It's hard. It's hard work. So definitely that inspires me. And then obviously my family, I've mentioned it, I'm a family guy. So that's a big inspiration. And then also be able to create jobs, I think, is a big thing. So I get to hire on. We're hiring people left and right. And so that's good to be able to make an impact in other people's lives, whether it's my employees or the Mainers, the local community. Those are all things that inspire me to keep pressing forward.
That's so cool.
That is awesome. Yeah. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk with us. And a reminder to everyone out there, if you live in Maine, you say, well, what am I going to do? I don't need a Box of Maine. I'm here. You know people who aren't in Maine.
Yes,
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So make sure that you look and see. Maybe you can send a little bit of Maine to people who have never been to Maine and say, hey, you might want to check this out. Or to people who have lived in Maine and might be missing their fluff and their moxie and the whoopie pies and all that. Now, you have a Black Friday sale coming up as well.
Yeah, so for some people, they might be like, I don't know, that seems a little bit pricey. Everyone has their own price points and whatnot. And, we offer free shipping, and we have all these other things that we've talked about on the show. So I just hope people take that into consideration. And how about Black Friday, though? If you really want to get a good deal, Black Friday this year, we're going to do 21% off. It's the biggest sales event for us of the whole year. And I think that's it's a win-win for me if you look at it and everything that we do. And so just keep that in mind. Free shipping. You can put a personal message in there to really make it unique. It's convenient, right? The convenience piece. Are we not all ordering food now through all these delivery apps and everything? It's a convenience, right? And it's a one-stop shop is what I call it. So we have all sorts of different things from Maine on there. You'll definitely find something you like.
That's awesome. And that's all at boxofmaine.com. There'll be a link to it in the show notes, as well as social media and all that. Be sure to check it out. Be sure to do it, because you're helping out local businesses here in Maine. You're also contributing to charity while you're doing it. And I mean, you're going to bring a smile to someone's face. So it's a win all the way around.
Yes, thank you so much for all that you're doing to give back into the community and just for being with us today. We really appreciate it, Daniel.
Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. Best of luck to you. Nothing but success.
You
and
too.
The same to you. Thank you. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Gorham Savings Bank, and encourage you to check them out through the link in the show notes. And thank you again for listening.